class. This sort of like MEC dream began, well, before I even came to purchase, just like scrolling through like the Wikipedia page for Culture Shock and looking at all the lines. I was like, oh man, they got Jizza, they got Diplo, they got Animal Collector, they got this and that. It's so awesome. Like, I would love to be the guy who books that and does that. And like over the past, I'm sophomore by the way, rising junior, whatever. And over the past 2 years of purchase, I've like become more and more familiar with the duties of MEC and all that. And I was like, why couldn't it be me? Like, I've booked enough shows in my life. I know the ins and outs of the biz, so to speak. I know a lot of up-and-coming and relevant artists, or whatever. And it just seemed natural, and I've watched like what Raymond Chaumet and his predecessors have done with it, and I find myself consistently impressed with the new heights that they take Fall Fest and Culture Shock to. And so I feel like I would be the ideal person to do that. But beyond just Fall Fest and Culture Shock, I really want to work on developing a sense of community, not just within like the stud, but just within the entire student body in general. And this would be in conjunction with like SEC and the GPC. And I feel like we have these kids who, they come out into all the shows at the stud every weekend, and they're there and they know the bands, they know the words to every song. But then we also have the kids like in the conservatory who make music, and the kids who make music in their dorm rooms and put it up on SoundCloud, or the kids who make music and don't put it anywhere and they just have it on their computer. And I want to get all of them involved too, because it's necessary to have it. We're a very small school, and I think that we already are a very close-knit community, but I think we could be even more closely knit. And I think that this collaboration, so to speak, between not just between like musicians, but all mediums and genres as well, I think it's necessary to building. I keep going back to the word community. It's necessary to building a flourishing and vibrant community, which I know most people here do some sort of art, not here, but here, do some sort of art or performance or whatever. And I feel there's a vast gold mine out there of untapped potential that gets not necessarily ignored, but sort of overlooked often. And that's really what I want to do if elected as MEC. Thank you. Yeah.
For lineups like Culture Shock and Fall Fest, we often use our budget as a crutch. So how do you feel you can be a little bit more creative in making these lineups and booking these people?
By using it as a crutch, you mean that we sort of justify like when
yeah,
some, okay.
I feel like we sometimes limit ourselves.
Right. Well, I mean, unfortunately, we are to a degree constrained by the budget. Like, we couldn't get Diplo again or someone like that. But so really, I think it's just like knowing, not necessarily like small time performers, but just like, again, up and coming, and just using budgeting wisely and managing funds wisely. It's tricky. It's not easy to do, certainly, but I think I can do it.
Rosie? You said you want more collaboration and participation, but how do you intend on encouraging that?
Well, I mean, like I'm organizing this thing called Day of Noise. You may have heard about it, and should be good. You all come out to it. But and basically, like that's sort of like an inkling of what I want to do is just provide a forum. Because I think the reason that more people don't come out and like play their own like weird music or whatever that they're making is because they feel that there isn't a space for them to do so, or like an event for them to do so. So I want to have more things where it's like, oh, like jazz night, you play sax, you want to get together a little jazz trio, come on out, and we'll do that. We'll have a day of jazz, if you will. And I think having more opportunities for people to go out and present themselves and what they've done is key to this sense of community.
Okay, last question. Nicole?
So as a senator, I sat on major events committee this year, and talking to students, I feel like there's a lack of understanding and transparency about why certain acts are chosen. And I'm just wondering how you plan on like increasing that communication with the whole student body so they understand just like why you choose to do certain things and just your technique in finding acts. Because I feel like Ray did a really good job this year, but people just don't understand why he did the things he did and why the job he did was the best he could do.
Right. I mean, I feel like that is just as easy as sitting down and explaining. So when someone posts in like the Facebook group, like, "Oh, let's get Drake again," and it's like, "Well, we can," and they're like, "Why not?" It's like, you sit down and explain, "Well, this is our budget. This is how much Drake costs." Blah blah blah. And if you like literally just sat down and explained it, went through all the figures and stuff, people would be like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." I think at least.
Awesome.